Okay, so my name is Denise, and I wanted to do a story time about my anxiety. I am not a doctor or none of that stuff, okay? Um, so it's like really bright out here, but I really wanted to do it outside. I didn't want to do it inside because it's just too dark and there's too dim. Anyways, and I don't have none of those fancy lights and anything like that, okay? It's my iPhone. The last video I made, I had like a little piece of chicken on my teeth, so yeah. Anyways, I wanted to talk about my anxiety because I've seen like different people videos and stuff like that, and I'm like, wow, that's so cool. Like, people actually like talk about like their stuff. So I'm like, you know what, like, why can't I talk about my life and how anxiety like has affected me? And honestly, like, I don't want to say that I'm here to give anybody advice. I'm actually here to get advice. um so pretty much, let me see, where do I start? So when I was like 5 or 6, my mom, like, we would go to my mom's friend's house. That's like the first time I remember like getting anxiety or panic attack. We would go to my mom's friend's house, and when we would get on the bus, when we would be waiting for the bus stop and stuff like that at the bus stop, I would freak out. I would start crying. I'd be like, Mom, something bad's gonna happen, something bad's gonna happen, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. And my mom, she would just be like, girl, you crazy, what is wrong with you, you know? And I'm like, I'm scared. But I don't know about you guys, but I know like in the Hispanic community or Latino community, or you know, there's no such thing as anxiety, there's no such thing as mental illness, there's no such thing as depressed. Like, you're just crazy, and only white people are allowed to have that because, you know, they think they're crazy. That's just like something that is like said a lot, you know, in the Hispanic household, for majority, not all, but for majority. But at the time, my mom was just like, girl, you crazy, you know, whatever. And I remember that was like the first time, or the first few times. And then if we fast forward to when I was 21, water break. Ooh, thought it was a bug. Is it a bug? Anyways, fast forward to when I was 21. I had already been single for like a few years, but I had this relationship that I thought was serious. But now that I look back at it, bruh, I was like 15. Like, honestly, like, what relationship is serious when you're 15? Like, honestly, like, I was a little like not okay, because yeah, that is not serious. Like, if you're in high school and I see like all these videos on TikTok, y'all getting proposed to and stuff, I'm like, okay, I see y'all. But when I was in high school, I was getting cheated on. Okay, so now I look back and I laugh at it, because I'm like, bruh, like, I was like real stupid, like really thinking that, you know, relationships were serious back then. They're not. They're a joke for me, in my life, okay, not your life, okay? Anyways, I had went through this bad breakup a few years before, and I wasn't over it. So I was like partying and drinking, and it was like one particular weekend that I was like, I'm just gonna do it all. I tried cocaine, I tried dabs, I got super drunk, and I ended up in the ER when I tried edibles because I had ate too much of them, got my blood pressure up and everything. So anyways, that happened, and one day I was at work. It was this weekend, so let's say it was like I did this all in a weekend or whatever. This is how I remember, like, honestly, this is how I remember. Probably was a few days apart, but I remember it was just all at once that it happened. And basically, let's say it was like a Friday, I don't know, Saturday, Monday, whatever day you want to think it was. And I was at work, and I hated covering for peds. Peds is pediatrician, so I was a medical assistant. Hated covering for peds. I was like, no, I hated it, because kids are hard to work with, you know, and then you have to do the anal temperature, and like when you're MA, you know, like you gotta be hurry, 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 hurry. And I would feel like kids, you know, they take a long time to triage. So I would feel like it would cause me to panic, you know. So anyways, yeah, so what was I? So yeah, so anyways, I did that. I was at work. I'm like standing up and it's almost time for me to cover, and I remember everything starts like closing in. It's almost like so foggy, and I'm like, oh my god, I was not feeling good. And I remember my coworker, she was like, hey, are you okay? Like, you just turned pale. And I was like, no, I'm not okay. I was like, no, oh no. And I remember I sat down. When I sat down, they brought the blood pressure machines, and my blood pressure was through the roof. They took me to a room, and they were like, you know, like, what do you want to do? And I was like, can you guys get me to an emergency room? I'm having chest pain. So when that happened, the nurse there, she was like, we can't call the ambulance because she's not a patient. No, doctor can't see her here because she's not a patient, blah blah. So she was like, so she has to step out the building for us to call 911. And she kind of felt stupid. And one of my coworkers, they called 911. They got me to the nearest hospital, which was GW. And my friend Brianna, she met me there, and I remember the doctor was like, have you tried any drugs, like, you know, this and that? And I was like, no. And my friend, she was like, don't lie to the doctor. Like, when she gets back, tell her the truth, because you don't know, like, what if something happened. So when the doctor came back, and I was like, look, I lied to you. I didn't want my mom to find out. I was 21, but I still live with my mom, so I was like, I didn't want my mom to find out, you know, that I had did that. So I was like, look, I just don't want my mom to find out. You know, I was under my mom's insurance, stuff like that. So I was like, I don't want my mom to find out. She was like, your mom's not gonna find out, but thank you for telling me the truth, because now we know what course to, you know, to go through, you know. So she was like, pretty much, she was like, you had a panic attack, all your tests came back clear, everything's fine, your heart's fine. I do recommend that you see a cardiologist, you know, just to like get like a full rundown. Don't do drugs. And yeah, so I remember I felt so down because I was like, anxiety, panic, like, no, like something's really happening to me, and now they think I'm crazy. And so my friend, she made sure that I got into an Uber. I don't remember if I got it or she got it, but I remember like she like stayed there into the Uber, because she lived in DC at the time. She stayed there to make sure that I picked up. And I remember my thought was just, I want to go cuddle with my mom. Like, I just want my mom right now. I went home. I told my mom I was at the hospital, and I cuddled with her, and my mom was like, you know, like, maybe you should see a doctor, see a cardiologist. And I obviously didn't tell my mom like of the eventful last days that I had. So she had no idea at the time, and I've already talked to my mom about it, about everything that I did and stuff like that. And it was so liberating, because I felt like there was like something over my shoulders, like knowing that I had not told my mom the truth about like bugs, bruh, like it's about to blow me. So anyways, this is so annoying. There's all these little bugs out here. Thought it was a bug. It's a leaf. Anyways, so yeah, so couldn't keep a job. I quit all my jobs because I would always get panic attacks. I quit that job. That job as a medical assistant, and I literally couldn't leave my house. Like, every time I would step out of my apartment complex, I would get a panic attack. I couldn't go to the grocery store. I couldn't go anywhere. And if I went, my mom would be there, and I would literally panic. Like, I remember we tried to go to Burlington once. My mom was like, you know, I'll buy you a few things, because I wasn't working. I love my mom so much. Like, I saw my mom, she's the best mom that I could ever have. We went to Burlington, and my panics were so bad that I would throw myself on the floor. Like, I threw myself on the floor this one time. I threw myself on the floor, and I was like crying because I felt like I was dying. Like I was just like, Mom, I want to go home, I don't want to be here. And my mom, like, I just remember her look on her face, like if you guys know me, like, I know I'm like a little weirdo, but like I was acting mad weird, okay? Like I was like, throwing yourself in the mall, like, come on now. But that's, you know, it got really bad. And I just want to thank God too. Like, God has really taken me out of this place that I was, like, really depressed and stuff like that. I'm not gonna say that I don't have anxiety, because I do have anxiety, and I do have a panic disorder, and I do take medicines for it. I take lorazepam for the panic, and I take escitalopram for anxiety. God, my hair's dry. And yeah, so I'm not where I was at, where I couldn't like go anywhere. I still do get panic attacks and stuff like that sometimes, but I notice like what helps me when I'm like going on really long car rides is like watching a movie or watching a show or listening to like some of my favorite songs. Like that has really helped me. I don't drive, and I do feel like anxiety has stopped a lot of things in my life, but I just personally feel like I'm just not ready to make those moves yet. I do have these goals that I want to accomplish when it comes to like driving. I do have my license when it comes to like driving and things like that, but for now I'm just like, you know, one thing at a time. Like one thing that was really hard was getting in a car for me. I was in a really bad accident, and I'm not trying to do like a pity party or anything like that, but I do believe that my anxiety is linked to things that has happened, because when I think about my anxiety, I always think like it links to something that has happened. So I was in a really bad accident when I was 17. I like almost went flying through the dashboard, but I didn't because I had a seatbelt on. So always wear your seatbelt. The seat didn't lock, so it like ejected me forward, but the seatbelt grabbed me. But the seatbelt grabbed me, but the actual seat moved forward because it didn't lock. So yeah, so after that, then I started having really bad panic attacks about getting cars and things like that. But that's like the only thing that I feel like has really helped me is like watching movies and stuff like that. I am a stay-at-home mom, so that was like a decision that me and my husband decided to make together. Obviously, like this is not me like saying, okay, like y'all quit your jobs. Like no, like, you know, obviously like do what you gotta do to, you know, do what you gotta do. But anyways, I saw a therapist, and that helped a lot. She ended up moving to a different county, and that's the reason why I stopped seeing her, which really sucks. I miss you, Deborah. And yeah, so anyways, what I wanted to just was like talk about pretty much just like my anxiety, and I just wanted to actually hear from you guys, and what do you guys do to feel better overall, because I struggled to like exercise, because whenever my heart starts beating really fast, I start to panic, and I can never finish a workout because I'm freaking out. I do have SVT, which is like a heart arrhythmia. It's a super something ventricular thing, and I also have PVCs, which is premature ventricular contractions. So I do have heart conditions, but I've been cleared by all my cardiologists to exercise. Just that whenever I have pain and stuff like that, bug, just to it's not a bug, it's like little flies, to just stop, you know, obviously not overdo it or whatever. So yeah. So I really want to hear from you guys in the comments, like, what do you guys do? What helps? Like I said, I take medicine, but I'm not consistent, and I use my lorazepam when I have panic attacks, which really helps, but I don't take my escitalopram daily. And it's just because I guess like I still have some like, oh, I don't have to take medicine for this. But anyways, I started yesterday. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take my medicine, and my doctor has told me like, you need to be on it for 6 months in order to see it, you know. to see it working. So yeah, that's all. I'm gonna end. I just can't. I'm sorry, I keep looking at my hair because it is mad dry. So anyways, I'm gonna end that video here. I just wanted to share quickly my anxiety story, and that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye.